guys, what's up? And welcome back to another episode of Homebrewed Evil. I am so sorry for the 2 week hiatus. I was busy and then I was unwell. I'm sorry, but I'm back. And I'm ready to freaking share some cases with y'all. So this week we are talking about Lim Ban Lim. Now Lim Ban Lim, he is the most wanted gunman in Singapore and Malaysia in the 1960s. Okay, now let's just get into it. Okay, so he was born in 1940 in Paya Lebar at Lorong Tai Seng, and he had like total of 11 siblings. So his parents had a total of 12 kids and he was the third kid. His father was a fisherman, and yeah, that is kind of his background. He went to Feng Shan Primary School and then he dropped out halfway, and then he just started working around as a hawkerman, as a construction worker at one point, handyman at one point. So he was just working around, and then in 1956 he got married allegedly to his childhood sweetheart. She at 16 years old they got married. Okay, there isn't much information about her, but her name was Madam Yo. That's what it says on the articles. And they had 5 kids, 3 daughters and 2 sons. And then we get into his freaking entry to the criminal world. Now in 1958 he joined a secret society. I will not be naming any secret societies in my channel because I am scared. Okay, and so he joined a secret society and he went for training in freaking Indonesia, Riau Island, to train as a shooter. Now Lim Ban Lim, right, he was an ambidextrous shooter, so he could shoot on both his freaking hands. After going through vigorous training, he started putting his training into action, right? He started to do armed robberies. He started off in 1963 when he with 3 other gunmen went into the printing division of Straits Times, and they stole 30,000 freaking dollars. And then to that they went into Singapore Steam Laundry and they stole about $11,000. And at this point is where he started getting a lot of attention from the police. They were like, okay, who is this guy and why is he going around robbing these places worth so freaking much of money, right? And so the police started, paying attention to Lim Ban Lim. And so Lim Ban Lim actually had an encounter with the police several times. And one of the incident was with Peter Lim, Detective Peter Lim, and so they got into like a full-on chase, and then Lim Ban Lim actually stole, like he took the police officer's gun and shot, like the bullets grazed Detective Peter Lim, if I'm not wrong, on one of his finger and one of his knees, and then he ran away, he bolted. And this is it, okay? Just listen, okay? And then Ban Lim proceeded to mail the revolver to the newspaper editor, and he wrote to the newspaper editor saying that he was down on the floor and I could have shot him dead, but what would I do that for? He was like, but for what? Oh my freaking god, the audacity this guy has, am I right? And then this does not stop like Lim Ban Lim from anything, okay? He proceeds to go and rob the First National City Bank, and he robbed a total of, I think this is the most he's robbed since before. He robbed $156,000, and then, okay, a few months later, he had another run-in with the police, another detective, and he shot the detective. He shot and got away, And this point is when the police had enough, like, okay, now you shot down 2 police officers. I mean, no one died, but the audacity he had to shoot police officers. The police were like, no, okay, no, we don't go around shooting police officers, and they put a bounty on him for $2,000, okay? And then, I mean, this was back in like 1960, so this was a lot of money though. And so next in 1968, he just kept going up to doing bigger things, bro. He went to Johor and he freaking robbed the state treasury of Johor for $452,000, and in the process of robbing, he killed a constable. As in, like, I think they are the guarding the treasury, police officers on duty guarding. He killed one of them and he got away with it. And at this point, again in 1968, the police were just on top of their game, trying their best to raid and try to find him and trying to bring him down. And so he had another run-in with the police, and this time it was like 3 police. They spotted him, they ran after him, and the main corporal in charge, he got shot 3 times by Lim Ban Lim. He got shot in the chest, in the face, and the fatal wound was the forehead, and he passed away, which was freaking upsetting. And this really triggered the police so much that they had a nationwide manhunt for him, and literally the freaking bounty on his head from 2,000 went up to 5,000. From 5,000 went up to 10,000, and from 10,000 all the way up to its highest peak, $17,000, because this was the first time that he killed a police officer. And so, like I mentioned, there was a massive manhunt for this man right now, and he took hiding in China, in Indonesia, and Thailand. He was just going around hiding. And then later the police managed to get tipped that he was actually in Macau, and so they just waited for him to come back, trying to prepare. And so finally they got word that he was coming back home to Singapore, and so they got exactly where he will be, what time he will be. And so he was going to be at this place called Golden City Theatre with his friend. His friend's name is Chua Ah Kao. Now this is his most trusted right hand man, and during like police interviews, a lot of people who knew Lim Ban Lim told the police officers that he literally doesn't trust anyone but Chua Ah Kao. So now the both of them entered the shops in Golden City Theatre, and after 45 minutes they came out, and at this point police were already lined up, took hiding, took cover, and they were just waiting for the 2 of them to come out. And as soon as they came out, the police were ready. They were going in for the arrest, but Chua Kao and Lim Ban Lim were not having it. They started firing at the police and ran the opposite direction to escape. And this is literally what the entire court and entire newspaper they called this the Hollywood style shooting, the Hollywood style shootout. So the both of them were just firing, but the police had to be very careful because the area was super crowded and very they just had to protect the public, right? The detectives, they got grazed with bullets, and one police actually died from the shootout because he got shot fatally by Lim Ban Lim. But overall, in the end, Lim Ban Lim, he had 3 shots fired at him, and he died at the spot. And he was 32 years old when he died. This was in 1972, November 24th, if I'm not wrong. And his friend Chua Ah Kao, he managed to escape. He shot at the police and he just escaped. Yeah, but I think later on he actually does end up getting in another shootout with the police, and he commits suicide by shooting himself. And this is the thing, okay, so when the police were actually finding for Lim Ban Lim, he actually told the police, you will never be able to find me, like literally you will never be able to catch me. Even if you find me, I will use the last bullet I have to shoot myself, so that the only thing you are going to get away with is my body and not me, you know, getting punished. And so I guess in the end that really happened. Like, he did not commit suicide, but he got shot and by the police and he died. Yeah, it's freaking crazy. And so at this point, the police were not really able to identify that this was freaking Lim Ban Lim, because he looked so different from how he used to look. He gained so much of weight and he had plastic surgery done, and so he looked like a completely different person. But in the end, the police were able to identify that this is indeed Lim Ban Lim because of his fingerprints. And now comes the time of his freaking funeral, where you think it would be done, it would be like nothing's gonna happen anymore, he's dead, right? But no, 33 inmates from Baduk Reformative Training Center, they sneak out, they escape, and they go to his funeral. But in the end, when they were questioned, they just say like, oh, we escaped because the living conditions in here are too harsh and we want out. But the police definitely suspect that they escaped to go and attend that Lim Ban Lim's freaking funeral, and I thought that was crazy. I mean, this is it, you guys. This is the story of Lim Ban Lim. Now, he was the first ever criminal in Singapore to evade the police by doing plastic surgery. So that's freaking wild. He is the most wanted gunman in 2 countries, Singapore and Malaysia, Johor. Yeah, and he was also an inspiration to future serial killer. So his name is actually Sek Kim Wah. In 1983, he killed about 5 freaking people. I think all by gun as well. And during his trial, he actually told the police that the reason why he did this was because he wanted to be better than Lim Ban Lim. So yeah, maybe we will cover his story in another case, but I just thought it's crazy that he's such an icon for other serial killers to follow. But yeah, that's freaking wild. I mean, this whole case, reading it, it feels like something that would have happened in a movie or in America, but not like in a country as small and tiny as Singapore. Maybe because the time and era that we grew up, or I grew up in, gun laws are super strict, super fierce, like just absolutely nothing about guns ever. And also, like, we know how strict the government is, how strict the police is, so we don't really see any cases like secret societies, gun, you know, like criminal gangsterism, not to this extent where you know, nationwide manhunts go on to search for them. So I think reading this, it definitely felt like a freaking movie, and it's unbelievable that this happened in Singapore. But yeah, crazy. I mean, if you guys know more about this case, do let me know down in the comments, and let me know what you guys think about this case. I mean, I was freaking mind blown reading it. Rest in peace to all of the police officers who died in the line of catching him. I remember reading that the corporal who actually died from the fatal wound shot to the forehead, he was married with children, and so, God, I can't imagine. Yeah, I don't really know what happened to Lim Ban Lim's wife and kids. There's actually very little information about them, so if you guys know more, I'm actually very curious to know what happened to them. In one article, I think I read that he actually, after joining the gang, completely went MIA on his family, and that's why maybe there isn't much information. But that, I don't think that was a credible source. I think that was just Wikipedia, not really an article. So yeah, if you guys know more, let me know in the comments below. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I mean, I was freaking mind blown. So hopefully I'll see you guys next week. If you guys like this video, please give us a thumbs up. subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please like the video, please. Comment and share, and if you're on Spotify, then please follow us. Also follow us on Facebook. Thank you. Yep, that's it for today. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.